Hey guys, Muzzingan here, bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle video, and so today we are going to talk about the AGL Dokkan Fest Vegeta that is coming out tomorrow on both versions of the game. This is of course the first banner since the worldwide is rolling up into an end here. That is going to be the beginning of the era of the sync, right? This banner is coming out on both versions at the same time. Now interestingly, because it's not an LR banner, so it's not animated, it doesn't have assets that appear in the data download, so we have not already seen the splash image for the banner, which obviously would reveal some of the other featured units. So we don't know the full banner lineup, and that will be the case going forward now for these minor Dokkan Fests. Like I say, LR banners, big celebration banners, they have the animated art for like the 400 hours of 3+1 and stuff like that. We often get to see those early in the data download. But for these filler Dokkan Fests, it's very likely going forward that we will not. So we won't know 100% who all of the featured units on the banner are going to be. But we are going to talk about Vegeta, we're going to talk about Qui, the banner unit, we're going to talk about some potential units that could be on the banner, and essentially discuss whether this banner is worth summoning on or whether you should be skipping. So make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, let me know down below in the comment section what your thoughts are when it comes to summoning for Vegeta. Let me know if you changed your mind through the course of the video. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump right in. So Vegeta seems like a very good unit. He doesn't seem like, hands down, you read his kit and it's like, yeah, he's the best new T-Y in the game. Doesn't seem quite on that level, but he does seem like he'll be very good. He's got an interesting leader skill, Namek Saga, Gifted Warriors, and Inhuman Deeds. So Inhuman Deeds finally has a 170% Dokkan Fest leader, and then he gives an extra 30% to Dragon Ball Seekers or Pure Saiyans. So Dragon Ball Seekers and Planet Namek Saga pretty much encompasses the entire arc and most of the units on the category for the most part. And then obviously having Pure Saiyans as the secondary means all of the Namek Gokus, and then Gifted Warriors means basically all of the Vegetas, and then Inhuman Deeds has a lot of the Extreme Class Saiyans. Those guys will all be getting the full 200% leader skill from this Vegeta. So you could definitely make a strong team out of his leader skill, and team building with him is going to be interesting, but he doesn't strike me, as a character that has a leader skill that is a must-have, right? Like, it's nice that Inhuman Deeds finally has a 170 lead, but a lot of the extreme characters, like if we open up the Inhuman Deeds category page here, we can take a look at some of these characters, and in terms of the ones who are still even like meta relevant, like if we look at some of the LRs, like LR Baby with his Easy Ace pretty good, but he's not a character that's going to link well with this Vegeta not having big bad bosses. Now the Brolys are going to be interesting for this Vegeta team because they are units that don't have big bad bosses and have Saiyan links, and of course they'll get the full 200% leader skill from Vegeta because Pure Saiyans is his plus 30%. So this team could be very, very interesting depending on how well the worldwide celebration summons went for you. But of course the older Brolys and the ones with the Easy A's and everything are all on here as well. But you look at these LRs and there's not many of these older villain type ones that are super relevant anymore. The King Vegeta being on here obviously is very good because he supports Pure Saiyans and gets a buff if there's a character whose name includes Vegeta. Obviously Frieza is a fairly recent Dokkan Fest, like from this year. Paragus is on the team, let's go. But not a lot of these characters are like that crazy. Physical Rose on the team is pretty cool. Another team from our boy Super Saiyan 3 Rose as well. But yeah, his leader skill definitely isn't one that strikes me as like he is a unit that you absolutely have to have, because his team will be like the best team in the game, right? His team certainly can be very fun, can be very good, will beat these endgame events, but he's not a unit that you have to have in your box, right? Even though he is a solid unit. We went through the details in a video the other day. Obviously you can pause it if you want to read all the details here again. It is up on the wiki, the tweets are up on the official global Twitter in English. So I'm not going to fully break down his passive again. You can check out the previous video if you want to hear my thoughts on it. But yeah, Vegeta is a good unit, but I would say he definitely isn't a must-have unit. And then when we look at his banner unit, I'm not sure how to feel about this guy. Like, there are situations where he could be really good. If the enemy is in attack down or defense down, he gets extra dodge chance, and can, if he's on low HP, he gets extra dodge chance. So there are situations where he can have like 90% chance to dodge, but they are situational. And he's not providing any support or anything like that. He does have a scouter if there's another Namek Saga ally in the same turn. So, like, there's a couple of teams where I feel like he could be useful, but we were just talking about the Vegeta team and how you could fill that team out with some crazy, like, Broly units and things like that. I don't think, like, even if I pull this guy, the way I see it is, like, the best build of the Vegeta team probably doesn't have this guy on it, which is not great. Banner units, I think, should always be a unit that if you pull them, they help out the main unit that's just come out and are, like, you know, a benefit to their team. I mean, he has a scouter, which obviously is a benefit for sure, but other than that, I don't think he's that great. His link set is not very good, and certainly not something that gels very well with Vegeta. And then just given the fact that it is the character, Kui, it's not exactly on a bunch of, like, solid categories either. So this guy, very disappointing. He's not one of these recent banner units that we've seen, like King Vegeta, Physical Gotenks, Tech Evil Boo, that really are on that next level. I think the AGL Bulma that was on Roshi's banner as well, really good. The Dispo that was from Topo's banner was really good. This guy doesn't really seem to be on that kind of level, to me. Maybe in practice when we see him in game, he's actually going to be crazy, but he doesn't strike me as being particularly crazy of a unit. So the Vegeta is really good, but definitely not a must-have, and the banner unit is definitely not a must-have. So the banner, not exactly a hot prospect. You know, it's definitely not a must-summon banner. If we think about the other units that will be on the banner, now one of the big things that people have been talking about is the desire to see this guy return, the Saiyan Day tech-based Vegeta that transforms into Super Saiyan. Obviously, he would get the 200% lead from this new Vegeta, although and yeah, they're on each other's 200% leads, right? So because of course this guy's on Gifted Warriors and then Pure Saiyans, and the new Vegeta is of course on Vegeta Family and then Pure Saiyans. So like that'll be quite interesting when it comes to team building. Now bear in mind they're both base Vegeta, so until this guy transforms he can't link up with the new one, which can cause an issue if you're running one of them on the other one's team, because you're going to have 3 base form Vegetas floating around in those early turns. But I'm not 100% sure whether this guy will return. His return on this banner will add a huge amount of value to this banner, and I could see people throwing a couple of summons at this banner just because this guy is on there, right? And they wouldn't have if he wasn't, because this guy still very good, hasn't returned yet, so his return just instantly brings a lot of extra value to whichever banner that is going to be. And I mean, he certainly fits, like with the Vegeta, he's on his team, it's his first return. I think it would be a smart move from them to put him on this banner, because like I say, it would just increase the value of that banner exponentially, but I'm not 100% sure whether he will return. Now, an interesting option that I thought of as well for a potential return is the Physical Rose, right? Because we saw, and then when we quickly had a look at the Inhuman Deeds category, he is on the Inhuman Deeds category, so he will be on the Vegeta's 170 lead. Unfortunately, he's not a Dragon Ball Seeker or a Pure Saiyan, so he won't get the full 200% leader skill. But Physical Rose is still a solid unit. Obviously, he does require a certain number of super bosses allies on the team in order to have a certain amount of damage reduction before attacking. No, he gets the 30% before attacking. It's the in general one, which you do really want for him. Otherwise, he can be... it definitely doesn't perform as strongly as he would on the team with those allies. So that is something that you have to bear in mind. But he fits on the team. I know he returned not that long ago, I think, for Global, but certainly would be good to have him back another time. Super Bosses is still a team that is very good. I did a video earlier today with the Janemba on the Rose team, which was really fun. So Rose returning would certainly be very good. And even though he wouldn't share a ton of links with this Vegeta, obviously he is a character that has prepared for battle as a link. And he would link well with some of the other Inhuman Deeds characters that would be on Vegeta's team. And then another interesting option is this Topo. Now, because of the banner rush that Global had leading up to the Worldwide Celebration, this guy was out not that long ago on Global, and he did return, I believe, on the Roshi banner. But obviously, because he came out not that long ago, he hasn't returned for Global. Of course, Global is going to get the Roshi banner at some point, and with the games now being synced in terms of new releases, we don't know where they're going to try and squeeze in that Roshi banner. So, of course, he could still be featured on that banner instead, which means he will not be on this one. So, I'm not entirely sure, because Topo's banner returned the Tournament of Power androids. We've slowly been going step by step and seeing the return of these Dokkan Fest that released in a certain order. Frieza returned as the first Dokkan Fest after the anniversary on JP. Has the AGL Frieza returned on JP yet? I'm not 100% sure. I think maybe he has, but if not, he could be featured on the banner as well. At least he has some, I guess, links and stuff with this Kui unit. I guess would, kind of make sense for Frieza to be on the banner. But for the rest of the banner, we do not know. So when it comes to Summon or Skip based on the full contents of the banner, we don't know it all yet. But a major linchpin is definitely whether this Tech Vegeta is going to be on there. If he is going to be on there, that could be a reason to throw a few multis at the banner. Because remember, this new banner, we'll talk about this now for the last part here, has the new pity system. Well, I say new, but obviously new for Dokkan Fest banners. It's the same as the legendary summon pity system. So every 3 multis, you get a guaranteed featured unit. And that happens like for 7 rotations, right? So once you've done 21 multis, like that stops. But by the time you've done 21 multis, you'd have enough coins anyway, right? So you get a guaranteed featured every 3 units. You get the pity coins, and then when you get to 200 pity coins, you can trade those in for a single copy of Vegeta. And of course, any extra SSRs you pull that you don't need dupes for, you can trade those in for extra coins. So it works out as if you get 10 coins every multi, it's 1,000 stones in order to get 200 coins. But by the time you traded in a bunch of SSRs, if you are someone who has most of the units in the game and can trade in a lot of SSRs that you get from multis, I've seen for myself when it comes to these legendary banners, on average, you're sort of looking at around 700 stones in order to get the pity. So that is something to consider, that for the first time in, well, the whole game, I guess, outside of legendary banners, if you are interested in this Vegeta, you know 100% you are going to get him if you do a certain amount of summons. Now, of course, like I say, around the minimum, unless you're getting like 3 SSRs every multi, I guess, is around 700 stones, which is still quite a lot to invest. One of the things we always have to think about when it comes to Summon or Skip is not just the banner itself, but what else is coming out, around the same kind of time. So we'll have a Dokkan Fest here, this Vegeta. There should be a part 2 LR. Then there'll potentially be something at the very end of October / beginning of November. Then Heroes is in mid-November. And then we already know from the roadmap they showed there's going to be a Carnival LR banner in December. That will be similar to when the LR Super Saiyan Trio released. But of course, before then, we also had the release of the Dokkan Fest 21. So there was a Dokkan Fest in December as well. So there's a whole bunch of other banners potentially slated to come out before the end of the year. And then remember, now that the game is synced for both versions of the game, as we go into the new year, we get to the end of January / beginning of February, and then it's the anniversary. So I think it goes without saying that the overall verdict for the video, if you are someone who is free to play or you only spend a little bit of money on the game here and there, unfortunately I do think Vegeta is a pretty easy skip because of all this crazy stuff that we have upcoming. If none of that other stuff interests you, like Heroes and the other potential Dokkan Fests, of course we don't know who they are going to be yet, but the fact that the anniversary is in February, and for Global having just gone through an anniversary, a bunch of back-to-back banners, and then the worldwide celebration, I imagine a lot of people are fairly low on stones, and so saving until the next big celebration, which of course is the anniversary, only a couple of months away, is probably your best bet. Now, if you are somebody who spends money on the game, of course, as always with Global, this banner is going to have the tickets. There we go, the Dokkan Festival tickets. So if you're somebody who does want to do a few summons for Vegeta, but you don't want to, go too crazy on the stones that you're saving for something else, and you do spend on the game, you can pick up these ticket packs. But of course, if you're not someone who spends, then these are not the free version. These are just the ones you buy from the shop, so these will not be of any use to you. If you're someone who is spending on the game, I mean, I'm sure you've at this point probably already decided whether you're buying the tickets or not. I think it's probably worth, if you want to try a few summons and you were potentially going to buy some stones and stuff anyway, give the tickets a try. If you do get lucky, then you obviously don't have to touch your stone count, and that can carry over to whatever is coming out next that you want to summon for. So tickets are always good value. I try and explain. I still see people get confused sometimes about like whether the tickets are worth using or not. Like if you want to summon on that specific banner, the cost of the tickets, you get more units overall by summoning using the tickets than if you spent that exact same amount of money to buy stones. Those stones that you then buy would not get you as many units as you get from using the ticket packs. So if you do want to summon on this banner and you are someone who spends money, the tickets are always good value. But obviously, again, this is not something that applies to free-to-play players or people who just spend a few dollars here and there, because the lowest price ticket pack is usually only a few dollars, and then if they do the special versions where you get like guaranteed featured and stuff like that, they're a little bit more expensive. So these ones are not going to be relevant to anyone outside of the usual spenders or whales or collectors. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Are you intending to summon for Vegeta? Are you waiting until we see the full lineup for his banner? Maybe you will summon if there's the Tech Saiyan Day Vegeta. Let me know your thoughts on Vegeta down below in the comment section. But as I say, I think the overall verdict when it comes to summon or skip, I feel like this guy is a fairly easy skip unless you're like a massive Vegeta fan or just a whale or collector. Because like I say, he doesn't have a leader skill that makes him a must-have unit. There's a bunch of other crazy stuff coming out in the next couple of months, so I think it's an easy skip. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, check out all the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.